All right, welcome to the episode. We've got a loaded lineup. We've got Sawyer Fields, Ian Chandler, Brady Bakeris, with Killian Barker, Matthew Burkle, David Ball, and I. We're ready to go. We got
Hi.
a 5-2 TBK previous worker uh,
Hello.
ratio going on. I'm excited. Let's go. What's going on?
Episode 32.
Woo!
Had to drop that.
That's where it's at.
All right. Jacob,
Okay.
Jacob, tell us about these guests. How do you know all of them?
All these guests work at Tribunal Bancorp Entertainment Center for food running department
It's actually food and
with
beverage.
Ian and I. Two of them don't. Two of them don't work in there anymore. But we're ready to go. I'm gonna keep saying we're ready to go until someone gets something going. I don't know where to
Okay,
go.
I'll start.
Oh, he's starting.
All right. So, like Jacob said, I used to work with Ian, Killian, and Matthew, and Jacob. Funny story. Me and Ian were the two people that trained Jacob.
That is true. We also probably trained everybody. If you
I
think
trained
about it.
Killian one day, but Killian knew what he was doing pretty much.
Yeah, because
And I trained
Ian had
Matthew.
trained
I'm pretty sure.
the day before.
Yep.
What'd you say?
I'm pretty sure I trained Matthew too. Matthew, didn't I train you?
I trained Matthew.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, in the end, since me and Brady trained Killian was just passing down our knowledge. So in the end, me and Brady, we both trained Matthew.
Yeah, but we all know who's the champ here now at TBK.
Who's that?
This guy.
All right.
I sold $4,000 worth of food in an hour, so
Okay, bud.
Is that
All you did was pick it up and bring it out to the table. So don't act like you sold the food.
you do it.
I was about to say, is there like a
I wouldn't-
competition? Is there like a strategy to getting more sales at TBK or
Not for us.
Y'all
used to have
beat your ass
specials,
if you
I'm
don't
pretty
buy
sure.
this chips and salsa.
Dude,
A dip
what
and
it is.
duo. That's a good choice right there.
Killian, when I lock in, I'm lethal, all right?
Oh, when you lock in, do you and Anthony lock in the
When was the
closet?
last time you did that?
All right,
Yeah,
we don't
Anthony
need to
doesn't
talk
even
about
work there anymore.
Oh yeah, that is true. Dude, I went to the TBK the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I almost had the biggest screw up of the century. It was a Monday, right? And I was going on a date. Anyways, we were going bowling, and I misread the. See, I looked up when the TBK Sports Complex opens, which is 10 a.m. I did not realize that the entertainment center opens at a different time,
Mhm.
and which normally on Mondays opens at 4 p.m. But thankfully, because of the holidays, they open at noon instead. So I wasn't like the worst boyfriend ever and just screwed everything up.
Sawyer, you could never be the worst boyfriend ever.
Oh, why's
You're
that?
talking from experience or something.
Ian knows. We all know.
That's
actually.
wild.
I also could never be the best boyfriend ever because David Ball is in the call and he is waiting.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm actually like he has a list of like people that he's like allowing, with him at a certain date, and I'm like next in line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Gotta
so
scroll. Sawyer, did you guys bowl? Or did you like do the escape rooms and stuff?
We bowled.
Are you a good bowler?
I mean,
what'd you score?
I kicked her ass, so there is that.
Good.
But
Whoa, I
Good,
thought you were
good.
bowling. What the fuck?
no,
That's
well,
dude.
bowling.
Damn.
I can't. Well, that audio clip could be taken so out of context if someone wanted it to. No, I think we played 4 games, and the total score. Neither of us are actually that good at bowling at all, but I think. But after 4 games, my total score was only like 360, and hers was 300. So there's that.
All right, but did you break 100?
On the highest
Yeah.
score I got on a single game was only like 96. So no.
That's still pretty good.
I went bowling.
rookie numbers.
I went bowling on New Year's Eve. I got 99 and 117. So
I went bowling, like,
Wow.
2
You know
weeks
what they
ago, and I
say?
got
We got some pros in this call.
I know.
They say that you're either good at bowling or you're good in bed. So
Well,
Dude,
good job, David, on being
Explains
so
a
good
lot.
at bowling.
Sawyer is the one exception.
That's why I bowl a 14 every single game.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
man,
about.
hey, that's what I'm saying. Dude, I was like a year ago, Baxter Shat. He was on his first date. He was at TBK bowling, and he was losing by like 50 points. So I came up to him. I was like, "He's letting you win." I was making him, dude. I was top wingman there.
Just
No,
But he was
my first
god
date.
awful at bowling.
My first date was also at TBK.
which one?
I remember that.
Which first date?
I was working that day.
ever.
Oh, your personal first date. I got you.
I remember that. It was at 135, right?
Yes. I
What
don't
the
know.
hell?
Time
He
remember.
gave him the
This
geographic
guy's the
coordinates.
time remembered.
That's insane.
I do. I
Is
still know.
that actually the time? Because that's kind of wild.
Wait,
No, it was like table
the
135,
table.
That's the table number.
right?
My first date was also at TBK, which is crazy because I actually work with her now at TBK.
Who? Am I
Violet.
allowed to know this? Violet?
I don't know who that is.
She works in concessions.
Yeah.
I must.
Oh,
have,
now I know who that is.
I must have missed something earlier. What the hell is Brady drinking?
Motor oil.
Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
It's so good.
I would have believed Jacob because
Big leg chubs right there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I work the bowling meets most of the time, the school bowling meets.
Yeah, I used
At
to work those all
TBK?
the time too. Those are fun. to work.
Yeah, they are fun. We see a lot of people like Cash Dormeyer. I see a lot. PJ, just everybody. I mean, it's crazy how many people actually bowl that you wouldn't think bowled.
For sure.
Dude, I make a point out of anytime I see someone from school like coming to TBK, I'll like sneak behind them and like spray them with like the spray bottle, like the squirt gun thing. And I'll just walk away and they'll never know. It's funny as
Dang,
hell.
I give people free fries. What the hell?
you did do that to me
Hey,
once.
I have a funny
Yeah.
story about that at TBK. I remember
Do tell.
this is probably like Jacob's first weekend, and we're working together one day, and he's pouring ranch into the cup, like where we put our sauces and stuff, and out of nowhere, like the tray like falls over, and ranch goes everywhere on the ground, like even out of the tub. So not JJ. I don't know why I keep saying JJ. My bad. And Jacob like had to mop probably the ranch up for like a good 2 hours.
Oh my god.
all right. That is like
And it was
15
in the
minutes.
doorway. You
but
guys remember that? It was like in the doorway for
the
months.
doorway?
To the closet.
I do not remember that. I have my own personal story with ranch. It was Chipotle ranch though. We were like I don't know if you guys even remember Chipotle ranch, but it was
I
like
do.
it was a sauce we had for the pickle planks. And
Mhm.
Those
we were
fire.
running low and we were kind of busy, but it was kind of like a slow part of busy, so I had time to go pour some sauce. So I rushed to the back and grabbed the Chipotle ranch tub and I pour out like one pitcher of Chipotle ranch, or I don't know, a couple maybe.
Mhm.
And I'm taking the Chipotle ranch back to the freezer or the fridge or whatever. And I'm putting it on the shelf, and the bottom of the tub hits the shelf, and it tips forward, and the lid pops off,
Oh,
and
I
it spills
remember that.
Chipotle ranch all over our shelves.
I remember hearing about
And
that.
and after I do that, we just start to get busy again. And I can't just leave Chipotle ranch all over the
Mhm.
freezer shelves. So I go to Allison. I was like, Allison, I just spilled so much Chipotle ranch. Can you cover the line? And she goes, okay. Expecting it would take me maybe 5 minutes to clean up. I was back there for 45 minutes cleaning up Chipotle ranch. Well, Allison ran all the orders by herself.
That's
You,
crazy.
You're
you're
sitting in a cooler. That's the worst place you could spill it too.
you're a
Mhm.
It'll get
wonderful
everywhere.
coworker,
Sitting in
Ian,
the
for
freezer.
that.
Dude, we should got an Allison on the podcast. Oh my gosh.
Wait, there's some crazy stories.
Dude,
Yeah. I feel like everybody has a bad experience with pouring sauces, at least their
Mhm.
first
Yep.
day or like first month or something.
My first time I
I
ever did it,
remember-
I can share. Go ahead, Killian. You can go.
I remember with Ella one day, it had to have been like February, something like that. I had it on a cart because there were no trays. There were no stands or anything. I had it on a cart right next to the door to the electrical room, the wooden door. The whole entire tub, I thought the lid was fully on, but it wasn't. Everywhere along the door. None of it even got on the floor. It was just completely covered all the way around the door. And Matthew's done pretty much the exact same thing. I remember that. Along the wall. In between
Matthews,
the
it's
two doors.
true. Hello, Matthew.
This has not happened. What?
Okay.
I was
First thing
lying
you
on
said
my
is
name.
It was the first day.
I might have
remember the
remembered
first
that.
day.
I think I was
No,
there your first
I
day.
remember the first day because I walked in there. 30 minutes later, you left me.
Wow.
Just not true. I trained you your entire shift.
No, you did not. You did not. You left me the first 30 minutes after my shift, and Brady trained me the rest. Actually,
Ooh,
I remember it.
I can't
that's
remember.
wild. Wow.
I have another funny story. I'm trying to think.
Matthew, what did I feel like you were just kind of known at TBK for making everyone else mess around? Like
Like you.
like me. Killian, don't act
Like
like you
you.
weren't pushing him around until
Okay,
that
I
time
was.
one
Me
night.
and Matthew, I recommended him just so that I could mess around at work. But
So Matthew, do you have any stories of people messing around at work that you'd like to share?
I mean, you played football.
That's right.
Ooh.
Matthew, tell
I've
us
got a
that
thing to
story.
say after that.
You were like, let's go play football. And then we got out of your car. We played football for like an hour.
While you were working?
Okay. Matthew does not have the same storytelling skills I do.
Right.
So I'll take So it was my first ever time working with Jordan. He was like a brand new manager, and I was kind of feeling him out. I didn't know if he'd be chill or not. So I was still figuring him out. And I remember complaining to him. I'm like, dang, I really want to get out of here early so that me and Matthew can go play football out in the parking lot. And he goes, oh, well, we're dead right now. There's nothing going on. Do you want to just take a 30-minute break or grab the football and go throw it out in the field? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. So I ran out to my car, grabbed our football, and we were running routes and stuff in the indoor baseball fields for almost an hour. And like I called Jordan, I was like, "Hey, do you need me to come back?" And he was like, "I mean, actually, you can just go home if you want." I was like, "Okay," and then I went home.
Matthew and I actually did nearly the same thing. Jordan was like, it's dead, you know, you got 15 minutes left on your shift. I'll let you stay on the clock, you know, if you guys want to go do something. And so me and Matthew go grab a soccer ball from the lost and found. Oh my gosh, it was dark and everything on the indoor fields. Nobody was out there. The gym was closed too. It was a summer night. It was perfect. Oh my God, we probably ran miles and miles that night. It was wild. And then we come back and Jordan's like, I thought you guys left. Oh.
Yeah. Dude, so I remember Ian, you telling me that story the night after because you guys did something else that shift that I had to help Matthew clean up not the morning after. Because I remember
Morning after.
I walked into work at 10 a.m. I think I was hosting. I didn't have to train Matthew. He was still pretty new though. And I walk in, he's like, I want to give him a direct quote. I walk in, he says, "Master, I'm cold. I need a hot drink." And so I'm like, "I've got you, sire." And
Not
I'm like,
happened.
"Okay, we we've got free Cinnabon coffee at the concession stand. Let's
Dude,
walk
those
down
are so
there.
good. I would devour those.
Let's
Killian,
walk
you
down
can
there.
vouch for me. You
I'll
would
get you a
always
hot
go
cup of
every day
Joe,
for me to get one. I miss those so much.
and I'll help
Oh
you."
my God.
All right, man. And I'll help you open up. So we're on the way down, and he's like, "Matthew, you were like, oh, I was working with Ian last night. We had a great shift. We played football. That's what Jordan let us did. And oh, Ian told me I should fill a glove with water and put it in the freezer. So that was really fun. We did that last night. I got to go check that back in the freezer, see how that's going." So I got to thinking, me and my fourth grade level science mastery, I was like, hold on, water expands when you freeze it.
It
I
does.
wonder what's going on with that glove. So we grab the copies and we walk back, and I'm like, all right, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe we're good. So I check the little freezer that we had the brownies in for the ice cream thing we do.
Mhm.
It's a little Tupperware container of brownies. And there's for some reason, I don't know, it must have been cold that night. It was frozen like the ice age. There was a tub of brownies frozen in time in water, like the ice age, and some remnants of a glove. So I was thinking, what a weird coincidence. I don't know where that glove went, but these brownies are froze as hell. So I was like, hey, I gotta go host. Matthew, you gotta clean this shit up. I know you did this. So then you had to clean up the frozen in carbonite brownies that you had
I
prepared the
was
night
so
before.
scared. I was so
Yeah,
scared
because
because
Bill,
like,
dude,
yeah, no, Bill was there and he was like, "Hey, Matthew," and he walked right past because like I hid it in the shelves, like like the main shelf area. I hit it on the
Your
bottom
little
part,
stealth segment.
and whatever his name was, he was like, "Hey Matthew," I'm like,
Guys,
I
Bill,
was
for
absolutely freaking out.
reference, Bill is my dad. He's the food and beverage manager director at TBK.
You were
So
just
he's like the big boss
trying to
of all of
hide
us.
this box of frozen brownies from them.
I was so
Yeah.
scared. I was like,
What, did it
and I
eventually
was
thaw
like,
out, or
yeah, like I was like putting it every like 10 minutes. I'd like make sure he's in his office, and I'd go get hot water and just like pour it into it. And once it all was gone, I just threw it away.
He would get hot water, and I had to come back. I was like, I didn't want him to get fired because you're a nice kid there, but I was like, I was like, maybe you can use a spoon as an ice pick. So he started
Yeah,
like stabbing the shit out of this ice, and like he told me that like he told me you told him to do it, Ian. So I was texting you. I was like, hey, if this gets out that he froze these brownies, it's your ass, dude. You told him to do it, according to
nah,
the
I was
story. So I was texting
Oh
you
my!
frantically. I'm like, hey, I can't do much, but I know I just put you in a state of fear. You weren't even
I
working.
was so scared because I totally forgot about that glove. We were so bored that shift. That's why we went to go play football. I don't remember how I got the idea. I think I was telling Matthew the story of how one of the cooks filled a glove with water one time and froze it, but he took it out at the end of the night. So I told Matthew about the story, and we were like, "Oh, well, we should freeze a glove." So we froze one and threw it in there, and totally forgot about it by the end of our shift. And then you text me the next morning. I'm like, "Oh my god, I forgot about that glove. I'm about to get fired." And I I didn't hear the rest of it. I didn't hear the story of how Matthew like just let it sit there and I hid it from Bill. It's so funny.
Dude, because the thing was, we got the brownies out, and I was like pondering for like 2 minutes. I was like, how the hell? What are we gonna do with this? Because it's not like we're gonna get the brownies out. They're frozen. We're gonna throw the brownies away. But we had to get like the container. We can't throw that away. So I was like, what are we gonna do with this container? I didn't think of like hiding it in a closet or somewhere for it to freeze. So I was like, hey, maybe you dig it out with a spoon or something. And then I walk out to the hose stand and I see Bill walk in and I'm like, shit, dude, he's screwed. I have no clue how you came in clutch there though.
I'm imagining Bill like bursting in into the onto the line and seeing Matthew frantically chipping away at this ice block with a spoon trying to carve out the brownies. Just imagining his reaction.
It's such a Matthew thing too. I remember one time, Ian, me and you, we found ice cream cups in the freezer. You remember that?
I
We
do remember that. I
and
thought
then
I
we
was
got
stealing them from
spoons.
Don or something.
Yeah, I thought it was from Don too. Don's this really big, scary kitchen manager. He's our head chef at TBK. And he's like, oh my God. He listens to death metal all the time. He's always
Epic and
screaming.
no,
He's always screaming.
He's
And
nice though,
he's really nice.
but he's
he
mad
is
scary,
nice.
dude.
And me and Ian found these ice cream cups, and then we're like halfway through eating them, and we're like, "Oh shit! What if this is Don's?" And so we go back into the like storage closet, and we start eating them. And don't don't tell Bill; he'll get really mad. He put a sign up outside the storage closet in like red lettering in all caps with like 5 exclamation points, telling people not to hang out in there. It actually almost got Anthony fired one time. So.
Yeah, 'cause- yeah.
Wait, he got caught in there while the sign was up?
No, it
No,
was
he got
because it
caught
was
in
his
there.
cup that was the last straw.
Yeah, his cup. And then he had these drawings that he made at the host stand one day, and he put them in it like while the sign was up, he put them in the storage closet, and my dad found them. Oh my God, he called me up to the bar. He was like, "Was this you?" And I'm like, "No, no, no." And he's like, "Well, who was it?" And he was like basically yelling at me. So I was just like, "It was Anthony. It was Anthony." I gave him up. I'm sorry, Anthony, but it's fine. You
I
quit
re-
anyways.
I remember walking up to the host stand and seeing Anthony drawing on these napkins, and I was like, dude, if Bill sees you, you're cooked. You know that, right? He's gonna be pissed. And he was like, I'm wasting one napkin and a little bit of a Sharpie. And I was like, I mean, yeah, but Bill's not gonna see it that way. He's gonna see
You're
you're wasting
yeah.
company time, not doing any work. And he is gonna be upset about that one napkin you wasted and that bit of Sharpie. It's just I was like, okay, he's not even here, so I guess you can keep doing it, but if he catches you, it's your ass. and I don't know why he decided to put them in the storage closet instead of throw them out at the end of the night.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's still some of his napkin drawings at the host stand. But
Um,
I've done almost. You remember the Garfield drawings? I did almost the same exact thing. But I'm like, I somehow just get out of any situation. I'm the golden child of TBK Entertainment Center
I
because
remember.
it was Chad, our one of our old managers, Chad. He was really cool. He like I don't know who asked for it. Apparently, like a customer asked for it. They wanted like uh drawings for their kids to do, or like coloring sheets for their kids.
I remember here.
So he just printed off a bunch of like Garfield coloring sheets and uh left them at the bar. So I grabbed a few and I colored them in. I only had four colors, but I'm not gonna lie, they were beautiful. They
I
were
remember
he
beautifully
was
that
done.
cooking.
because what's it called?
And
They were on. Yes, sorry, Jacob.
yeah, I think I'm getting there. And I hung them on the fridge right in the kitchen where everybody walks through. And I was like, hey,
I remember that.
maybe they'll appreciate the nice art. I didn't even think like, oh, that's clearly a sign someone was wasting time, not doing their work. And I hear like the next day, Bill comes in and he's like, hey, I don't ever want to see this again. You're wasting
I
company
remember
time.
that.
But I grew up, my childhood was Garfield, so I'm gonna let him stay.
He said that to me.
So
Yeah.
I have no clue.
He let it stay up for so long.
He let it stay up for like 3 months, but he took it down. I'm pretty sure because some of the servers drew some and put him on the thing, and he's like, "Man, fuck no,
Is
you're
that
wasting too much
ranch is
time."
like Midwesterners be like we're at a ranch thing still on there?
Yeah, it
I
is
think
Yeah,
actually
so,
the magnet.
yeah,
It's this
and all the outdated label makers.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
They're
had to
like
do that
stopping
for the
people.
alcohol cooler a couple like maybe a week ago or something. I had to use the label maker. That was really I feel like that's gonna be like my last remnant at TBK even after
Your
I'm long
last
gone.
mark.
Yeah. Um I
I saw
heart
that. So,
SF.
What do you say? I
I
couldn't
love
see it.
SF.
David's writing.
Yeah,
They haven't
you
talked
guys
much.
focus on your stories. Keep talking.
David and I are just flirting over here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, sorry guys.
I remember probably my first shift. No, not my first shift. It might have been like a weekend because me and Ian and Allison and Jacob were already like talking. So I think Ian was or it was me and Allison at the host stand because she was training me for hosting. So it
I
was probably
remember
my
this.
fourth shift. Brady was just getting off and Ian was just getting on. And Ian comes up to the host stand and finds us doing the crossword on the kids menus that we used to have because we used to have kids menus before we had like the professional menus and stuff. And Ian, it must have been 30 minutes. We were trying to find who could find the most words because there were like 15 on there. And Ian lost by one to me and Allison. Oh my God.
Oh,
I don't know how he got away
Dude,
with that.
I probably
dude, I
crashed
remember the
out.
same shift. I mean, I think it was one of the ones that Allison was training you, and I was in the back with Ian. Because Allison would came like back into the kitchen when she was hosting like 5 times. About the fifth time, I was like, "Hey, are you coming back here because you need something, or because you're trying to avoid Killian?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's that one. I'm trying to get away from him." So I'm not gonna lie. That's she
Okay.
said.
Okay.
Dang.
Is this gonna be the first time that we're discussing Allison and I? Is this gonna be the first time?
What? What are you
I
talking
No,
think
about?
no,
so.
no,
What?
no, no, no. Not like nothing happened. But like you guys know, Brady knows.
I don't know.
Knows what?
Brady
I know you were
knows.
a
I
freak
do.
for everybody, bro. So was Matthew. Every time a new server would walk into the kitchen, he'd be like, "Dude, Ian and Matthew, every single one of you, you're all
Oh
freaks."
my God,
Ian, did you guys
the
see Ian's face?
dude, the new girl, the new girl, Jacob. I went up to the new girl and was
Look,
like, "Hey,
David.
do you want to join? Do you want to join the work group chat?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." And Jacob's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna need your snap." And as she's giving Jacob her snap, I stood behind her and looked at Jacob and went, "W Riz,
I was
W Riz."
That was the
What?
worst thing because then I was like adding her to the group chat and I was just like laughing. And she thought I was
The
like
thing is,
laughing at
though,
her.
she has a boyfriend, Ian.
Yeah, I know. I don't want that.
Like,
I
Let's
I
don't
know
want
talk
who
that
she
smoke,
about
is.
bro.
Like, I don't know who
let's
she is.
talk about okay,
Yeah,
we're not gonna
that's
say her
awesome.
name because her brother will get mad at me and try to fight me again. But that one freshman, that one certain freshman, the
I
blonde
know who you're talking
freshman,
about. I know who you're talking. Yep.
me and
No.
Brady and Ian were working in the kitchen.
I don't want to talk. No, we're
One
not
day.
bringing this up. No.
We have to
Please,
bring it
Brady.
up. We have to bring it up. This
I don't
girl,
wanna
okay,
be
I
a
was
part of this.
interested. And
Yeah,
Brady,
you are.
she knew Brady from somewhere. I don't know how.
No, she like used to be there all the time, and she like knew who I was. I never knew who she was, and then she's like started talking to me all the time while I was out there.
Holy shit.
And she knew
I-
Killian because middle school.
Yeah, and I used to be friends with her, and like we used to, I don't know, somewhat talk. I was supposed to take her to homecoming this year, but I didn't.
Oh yeah, I remember. You telling me.
Chad.
You're a pimp.
we're telling Ian about this girl, and he asks, "How old is she?" And
Guys,
I'm like,
this is the best
"We're
part.
like, she's a freshman, or she's in 8th grade or something," because we hadn't started this last school year yet. He says, "Oh, okay, so I can look, but I can't touch."
He is a junior at the time, and she's in 8th grade.
She's in 8th grade. Oh my god, we quoted
Okay.
that for
They would not let that
so
die.
long.
Yeah,
Let
I
the
tell my
record
new coworkers
show.
about that story
Let the
too.
record show. I didn't look. It was a joke
Did
to
you hear
make
me,
people
Ian?
laugh.
Dazed.
Ian, did you hear me?
I
I
did
tell my
not hear
new
you.
coworkers that story.
Of
That's
course,
my-
of course,
that's
you
my
did.
Brady, you're
memory.
dragging it. You're dragging it.
I know it's hilarious though because that's like my favorite memory of Ian probably.
Oh my god, it was a good memory, and I was not serious. I'm
I
not a
remember there was
pedophile.
one time I'm pretty sure like Ian, I'm pretty sure I was working with you, and like Bill was managing, and it was like either it was my no Killian. It might have been me and you. I was with someone. It was one of the people that were on here right now. Dude. But anyways, I remember I was working and there's like two girls. Like you guys know, like by the kitchen doors, like by the elevator, and like there's a like high top that high table with like
Mhm.
two chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
The
what's
bar
it called?
table.
Yep. And I
High
remember
table.
there was just two like probably teenage girls, maybe early 20s out there, just chilling and talking. Bill looks out there and looks back at whoever I'm working with and is like, "Why don't you guys go try to like talk to them?" And
Yeah,
like,
he said make a move or something. I think you
Dude.
told me about that the next day.
yeah,
He just said
because I
talk
was
to
like,
a-
Bill, I was like, Bill, they're too old for us. And he's like, you never know. And he's
Dude,
like, go for
Contrary.
it.
Dude.
I was like, are
my
you
dad
serious?
has
He's
some
like,
crazy
yeah.
stories. He's
You
got
guys,
some
you were
crazy
talking about the
stories.
towel whipping thing? How big of
Yes.
a coincidence that was?
Oh wow.
Yeah. You wanna tell
Me
that one?
and yeah, was it
It was me, yeah. I
it
was
was me
there.
and you?
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
and
were-
I, but okay.
Shut the hell up.
my
up,
bad,
Sawyer.
Sawyer, my bad.
You're just
So
here to record, bitch.
Oh well.
previously oh,
We
Be
just
nice
talked about
to-
how
be
Matthew
nice
hasn't
to my
said like a
boo.
word.
He's playing Fort. Leave him alone.
no, he's not.
No, he's been the
he's
subject of half
lounging.
the stories though, so it doesn't matter.
He's lounging.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't know.
For like backstory or whatever,
Gods let mortals speak for them.
me and Alexis one day, she's a bartender there. We were like whipping each other with the towels. We have little like square foot towels. We were whipping each other, and so I was like telling Jacob about it, and I was whipping it at the fridge, and Bill walks in. He tells us this story about how some guy on his swim team
Wait, hold up.
Your dad swam in high
No,
school?
because when you were
didn't
whipping
know
the
that.
towels, you were like, "Hey, I got to get this all out here because apparently at the school at Bettendorf High School, you're not allowed to whip towels. It's against the rules."
Yeah.
So
So
you whipped me last year in gym class. You remember that?
okay,
That's-
I do remember that.
Okay,
Let's
we're getting off
disregard
topic,
that.
dude.
I'm
Okay.
just saying that's okay.
So he tells us, he's like, "Don't ever do that in my building again."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Okay, sorry." And so we were talking about the thing, like it's not allowed at school. And my dad has a backstory to that. It's a rule that's actually because of him and his friends.
Oh, God.
When my dad swam back in, gosh, it must have been the 80s, like early 90s, maybe something like that.
How old is he again?
Probably early 90s, mid 90s.
You guys
Him
old.
and his
That's when the
friends,
building was
him and his friends on the swim team were whipping towels at each other, and one guy got hit in the eye. He was bending over. He got hit in the eye, and his eye exploded.
Okay, that's I
I'm
don't.
sorry. Did you just say he was bending over?
His eye exploded.
Oh my god!
But
I
yeah, he was
still hate
bending
thinking
over,
about
Sawyer. If you
So-
want to imagine it, I know.
How?
Did you just say
Wait,
imagine?
dude. But imagine if Ninja got a low taper fade. Since we've been talking about work this whole time, I've got a work story.
All right, we'll let you bite.
Yeah, give me a chance. Give me a spotlight. Let's
Guys, this is like a 30-minute story.
let's move away from from TBK and talk about
Sure
Steve
is.
Hart for a moment.
No.
What?
Okay, go on.
My God. Okay. So basically, this is a 3-part story. um, basically, at Cinemark, we hired this new usher, and I'm gonna call him, for the sake of this story, I'm gonna call him Steve. Um, but basically, we hired this new usher, and see, the interesting thing about this Steve guy is that he's like 40 something years old. Now, I don't need to explain to you that pretty much every single worker at Cinemark that isn't a manager is like my age, right? Our age, right? You know, they don't get older than like 20. So now there's just this like 40 something year old man cleaning theaters with us now, which is a little odd, but you know, whatever. Anyways, it's his first day. He comes in and works with us. It's fine. I don't really talk to him much. He's whatever. Then the second day comes, and this is where things get weird. So it was a pretty busy day because you know it's been holiday season. And today that day I was the team lead, so I was the man in charge. Thing is that Steve was like he wasn't cleaning theaters with us once the whole night. He was off doing side missions the entire night. He was like, "Oh, I'm cleaning the restrooms." I'm like, "You were in that restroom for 20 minutes. How bad could it have been?" But anyways, for like the first like 2.5 hours of the night, he was literally just off doing side missions. He wasn't helping us. He wasn't doing anything. And there was a point at around 7:30 where we started to fall behind on theaters, which that's never good. So as I was pushing the cart to our next theater, I see him, and I'm like, "Hey man, do you mind helping us on floor for a little bit? We're kind of behind on theaters right now." And he goes, "Oh no, I was just about to head on break." And it's his second day, and I don't want to be like that on his second day. So I said to him, I was like, "Oh no, it's all good, man. You can go on break." And then he, full grown man, makes the decision, "No, I'll come help you." So he comes and follows us to the next theater. And maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, we're cleaning the theater up. And then he points at me and goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" And he literally goes, "You mind stepping outside with me for a moment?" And me and the other 3 ushers' heads all just shoot up. We're like, "What?"
Did he say it in that voice, or did he
Yeah,
say it
yeah.
in a
No,
catchy
seriously.
voice?
He was
Ooh.
like, you mind stepping outside with me?" Which, anyone with a brain knows that those are fighting words, right? Like, you don't say that to someone when you want to give them a present or say something nice
Is
to
he
them.
frail, or could you beat his ass?
He's shorter than me, so, I mean, but he's
Oh,
a
Hey
little
man,
more.
he might want to give you his present in the alley, okay?
He's a little more built than I am, but whatever. But anyways, me and all the other ushers are looking at this guy like, okay, manager's not with us at this moment, by the way, which is very convenient. But since we were behind on theaters and I was in a rush and I didn't really care, I was like, all right, whatever, man, sure. So we step outside of the theater into the hallway, and Steve, he starts like looking around. He starts scanning the area, and he sees like a family that's like nearby. He locks eyes at this family and goes, "Nah, I'll talk to you later." And he just goes back in the theater, and I'm like, was this guy about to like beat the shit out of me? Like what? And
Does he still work there?
let me keep going. A little bit later, Steve walks away, finally goes on his break, and I look at the other 3 ushers, and I'm like, "Do you all have any idea what that was about at all?" And all 3 of them were like, "No." Like, they had no idea what could have possibly caused that, what could have upset him. It was like just the most out of the blue thing. So, anyways, me thinking, well, that was very odd. The next time I saw our manager Thomas, I was like, "Hey man, something weird just happened." So I explained the situation to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay." I never did find out what Steve had to say with me that night. Fast forward to the next day, though. It's Steve's 3rd day, and this was New Year's Eve. And one thing I will say about this day is that every single usher, except for my friend Griffin, called off. So it was the 2 of us the whole night, which is why, if you saw my Snapchat story that night, I was there till midnight mopping floors. Anyways, But Steve was also there. But of course, he was off doing side missions again. So anyways, before Griffin showed up, it was just me cleaning, and one of our managers, Quist, comes in, and I'm like, hey man, it's kind of just me cleaning right now. Do you think you could go get Steve? And he was like, yep, I was just about to do that. Let me go get him. He leaves the theater, comes back in like 3 minutes later, and he's just shaking his head. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, Steve just doesn't want to work on floor. I'm like, why not? And he points at me and goes, he doesn't want to work with you. I'm like, uh-huh. What did I do to this man? Like, let me just say, full grown man is too scared to work to clean a movie theater with me. I don't.
He's 40 years
Scared?
old, beefing with
You're
a
a threatening
17-year-old.
individual.
I'm very scared.
Yeah, I would feel
You should
very
feel
like
honored.
dominated.
Dude, he felt
You
intimidated.
feel what,
He felt
Killian?
intimidated
What
when
would you-
team lead Sawyer Fields was, hey, can you help us on floor, please? Very threatening.
Can you please help us clean this theater?
I'm team lead, so I'm in charge right now. So you have to do what I say. Yeah, so he just refused to come on floor, which like it's your third day and you're just refusing to do what a manager tells you to do. It doesn't surprise me why you're working a high school job. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyways, yeah, and then all of a sudden, like an hour later, Griffin shows up and Griffin's like, "Where are the trash bags?" And I'm like, "Oh, Steve might have them because he's off doing whatever." And then another manager, she goes, Steve's gone. And I assumed that meant they just fired him right then and there. But I looked at this week's schedule and his name's there. So I don't know why he vanished that night because his shift was not over. Did they just
Wait, has
did they
this happened yet, or are you leading up to something?
No, that's
Ooh.
pretty much all there is to it right now. Like I don't know why did they send him home like, "All right, we get it. You don't like this 17-year-old boy, so we're going to let you go home." What?
Is he scheduled with you?
Not
Like,
with
is
me.
he on the schedule?
He's on the
I
schedule,
would
but
be
not with me.
So yeah, they
I would be
probably just.
scared to work with you too, dude. You're pimping out the place, dude. You're running that.
I
It should
am.
be
you know.
Sawyer Field Cinema.
You are.
I have been made team lead very fast upon when I actually started working. So
I think someone who I can kind of relate to Steve, and I think Ian
No, we're
and
not
Brady
talking about it.
and Matthew and Jacob
I knew
both
a
know.
Steve once.
They know who I'm talking about.
We're
At
not gonna mention
TBK, there was this guy.
We're not gonna give his name.
He we'll give
Let
his
me tell you,
nickname.
he was a bit of a
He
rodent.
was he had buck teeth and whiskers.
Oh,
called him
a rat.
Matthew doesn't know him.
people called him Matthew's heard of him though.
Yeah.
People called him Rabbit.
Nice.
He
Okay.
was
Oh, wait, let's
Call himself
clarify.
Rabbit.
Let's clarify. People didn't call him Rabbit. He asked everyone, no, like demanded everyone call him
Rabbit. Yeah.
It
I didn't
wasn't
know his
some
name
mean
until after
nickname
he got
he
fired.
gave him. It was a nickname he gave himself.
I knew what his name was all along. I just never told you guys.
He was
always
a
call him
line
by
cook at TBK for how long did he work there before I started?
Oh my god.
Ian, it was when trying to think. Was it when Ryan was still there?
I don't remember who Ryan is.
A
He'd
year
been
and a
there.
half?
I think he'd been working there for a year before him.
It's Killian. You
Okay.
started in December of 23, right?
I started in December of 23.
Because
so I've
Rabbit
been
was
there for a
working
year.
when I'm trying to think who was there when Rabbit started.
It was about a
Don-
year. It's not that important.
Yeah. So he had been there for a year. Oh my gosh. Rabbit was a character, man. Let me tell you. He was a character. He ultimately ended up getting fired, and we'll get into that maybe.
No, we won't.
Okay, it's a
think
it's a
we can.
situation.
There's
don't
some
think
witness
you can-
protection going on. Apparently, I don't know. Not really.
But Rabbit was he was a creepy guy. He was a real creepy guy. And for some reason, he would always make everybody else mop like when we had to mop because that's part of our closing duties. But the one female who worked there, who still works there, Allison, he never made her mop. He would always mop for her, and he was like, I don't know. He was a creepy guy. He was
Very
really
funny.
weird.
You
But
remember when he always used to make
he
cookies?
did make the best cookies.
He made
I
cookies all the
didn't.
time.
Oh,
Wait,
He made
wait,
amazing
wait.
cookies.
Do you guys remember Mikey the dishwasher?
I don't.
no.
Jacob, do
I
you?
remember Mikey the dishwasher.
Jacob, were you there when Mikey? Yeah, I think you
No.
were.
No.
No, it was
not
just
yet.
us.
Yep, it was just me and you. Yep. Oh my
Ooh.
God, what's a good story? So back to Rabbit. Mighty, like Rabbit didn't drive really, so like Mighty was always right there. Or like when after Mighty left, it was like one of our other managers that's not there anymore, Nathan. Well, that's not there anymore, but yeah, it's Killian's uncle. Yeah, and so but anyway, Mighty was this old, cranky old dude. And he can pretty much vouch for me on that. He was just
Yeah,
like
he was strange. He
like if like you got I don't know how like if you guys ever experienced this, but like the way it works at restaurants and stuff, like the silverware still has to get like cleaned, even if people don't use it because it's technically touching tables and those tables are dirty. So like if you brought silverware back and like they weren't like touched by anyone, he wouldn't wash them and he would like refuse to wash them because like they weren't dirty and stuff.
Yeah.
And like he would like never like if a plate was on the ground, not on the ground, like on the table, he would like, and it wasn't touched. He would still not. He would refuse to
Brady, you
clean
want to
it.
address Matthew?
Yeah,
Matthew.
Matthew's got his hand up.
hello,
Matthew?
Matthew.
Matthew,
He's
speak.
taking a stand
You
for
speak.
something.
You're good. You're good.
I remember one time I brought dishes back to the dishwasher guy now, and he cursed me out.
Yeah,
For
he
what?
told me
Jackson?
about that.
Anybody would curse you out, dude.
Yeah,
Jackson is this
My
guy.
bad.
He's probably the new Rabbit. He looks like he could be Rabbit's kid.
Hey,
Honestly.
some people ate
Just
off of these and they need to be clean. Fuck you.
No, I was like,
Oh, Mikey,
it was like,
I don't understand this slander.
no, it
the
was
way
like
Mikey would
10:30.
talk.
Wait. Let Matthew tell the story.
Yeah.
It was like 10:30 because like there was this one table. I almost talked with my brother because my ride home, and it's like 10:30. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for this table to clean up, And I'm like, hey man, I'm sorry because like all like the places where I put it normally, like the silverware and stuff, weren't there. I was like, hey, where do you mean to put? He goes, are you dirty? Okay, I can't cuss right now. My parents, you can hear me. They're like, he was cursing me. I'm like,
This guy, okay. He is very quiet and reserved most of the time. He's always got his AirPods in. His name's Jackson. He looks like he could be Rabbit's kid. He doesn't look like Rabbit, but he looks like the hair is similar and everything.
Not really, but
He's
the way I like Jackson.
let
He was cool with me.
Killian continue the story.
Sorry.
he's really reserved and he's really calm most of the time, but I've heard stories of him just getting into it with so many people just randomly, but he's always been completely fine to me. So maybe this guy's got like a dark side or something.
He's
Maybe
so
he-
chill to
yeah.
me.
No, he's fine with me. I'll put dishes in the dishwasher and be like, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, that's
I'm like, I
always
don't know.
thank
I
him.
don't know what this side of him is.
It's
I don't
just
know
like
either.
if you piss him off because like I remember I was with him. I would always be like I remember like if it was like me, Brady, the cook. There's a cook named Brady also, and Jackson in the back one night. We would all just chill. I remember Jackson would always get on the line, make his boneless wings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ian cooked for a little bit there, didn't
I
he?
remember that.
Okay, I'll tell the story. So, it was one night. I don't think it might have been a holiday, but we had two cooks call off, and they had one cook basically. I think it was Don,
It
the
was
head chef,
Don. I'm pretty sure it was
the head
you,
chef,
Don, and Brady.
and it was and Bill. He gets this kid Gavin from concessions, and he takes him over to cook. And Bill he's like in the back, and he looks at the 3 food runners he had scheduled, and he goes, "Hold up, I don't need 3 food runners." And he was like, "Ian, do you want to go on the line and cook tonight?" And I was like, "Yes, I would love to." Because at this point, I've been food running for 2 years and I would rather do anything else but food run. So he puts me on the line. Don teaches me what I'm going to do. I was on fry and I cooked fry for the whole night. And it was the most fun I had working in a long time. And I loved it. So same night, I text Bill. Basically, I say, "Bill, I've been food running for 2 years now. I can't keep doing this. I would love if you moved me over to cook for a while." And he tells me, "Okay, you know what? You did good cooking, and I don't see why not. I don't see why I couldn't. I've been thinking about moving you to cook for a while, so I'm going to do that." So he comes in, he tells me I'm going to get raised up to 15 an hour, and I'm going to be cooking. And I'm like, "This is great." I cook that night. I go home, and I absolutely loved it. I think I cooked one more time, and then I never got scheduled to cook again. I got scheduled a food run every other time, and haven't cooked since.
I have a
And
picture of you cooking. Actually, I remember.
it was
Yeah.
so much
Done.
fun, and I miss it, and I miss the extra money that I made. And I think Bill only moved me to cook for a couple of days so I wouldn't quit. Killian,
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Right on.
the thing that Ian just said at the end there moved him to cook for a couple days so he wouldn't quit. I actually, that's what he tried to do to me with concessions and everything, and I just kept bugging him for months and months and months, and told him I would actually quit if he didn't move me to concessions. And now we're all going to be leads besides Jacob, me and Ian. And
What are you talking about? You keep excluding me. I'm going to be a lead.
are you? Wait,
I'm
no.
in the group
Oh,
chat.
besides Tucker. Sorry,
What
besides
is your
Tucker.
problem, bro?
wait, he left Tucker out. That's
Dang.
interesting.
Yeah, because Tucker
I don't-
no-showed
I-
twice.
Yeah.
But I originally raised my hand because David has a picture of Joe Biden on his lap, and I feel like they have their own little side quests. Him and Sawyer.
I don't know how that got there. I'm gonna be honest.
I hit
It
my
was just
foot.
it was
Telling
interesting.
you
yeah.
gosh.
Interesting.
I don't think that
Earlier
meant
we were
anything.
talking. Earlier
What do
we
you-
were talking about. Earlier we were talking about Matt the dishwasher, and Brady left out some of the weirder
you.
things he did.
Here, can I explain them? Can I explain like the story? I remember. Like,
Sure.
so like Killian mentioned Ella. She's the server we they used to have and stuff. Well, when I worked there and stuff, she was there.
Yeah.
And she was like, how old is she guys? Like 20, 21?
She's
She's
under
like
21.
she's like 20.
Yeah, she's
Ella?
my brother's age, so she's like 20 or 21.
So I remember, like back then she
Ella's
was under
like
21, but I
23.
remember her coming in and celebrating that she was now 21 and could drink.
Oh no, she's 22. She's 22. Her last birthday was I remember she spent it
Yeah.
at TBK. She's 22.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I remember like Mikey used to be obsessed with her. Like this guy was obsessed with her, guys. Like
And Mikey's
she would,
like 60.
yeah, Mikey. He even like had. I'm pretty sure he had kids. Yeah, he had kids.
Mikey's 60 with kids.
And like he
You
was
tell her-
obsessed with her. Like he would buy her stuff. Like he would bring her food in, drinks.
He bought
Who
her
is
how
that?
much?
Why is
how much
Sawyer
was
on your lap now?
Oh,
Dude,
oh shoot.
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
So that's
Brady,
what
how much was the necklace that he bought her?
it was like hundreds of dollars, and he like
I heard he bought her $1,000 necklace that said her name.
yeah, like he would literally go all like they would go to the
I just-
bars together and everything.
And
Sawyer,
literally,
put that
I
on
think
the
she
thumbnail.
just used him. I think she just used him for free drinks. And I just kept thinking to myself, she's not gonna let you hit if you keep buying her all this stuff.
Nah, that's a
And
quitter's
like every
mindset.
time she was like not working, Ian, you remember this? He would always be like Ella.
Oh my god, so weird. And Allison, this was the weirdest one. Okay, he called Ella a princess, which is pretty weird, but Ella's of age. Ella's legal. He called Allison a princess too, who's 16 or 15 or something at the time. I don't even know. That was really weird. And Allison was concerned, like, should I tell my parents about this?
Hey, tell him to come back now because she's 18.
What
She
the
just-
hell?
She's 18.
Yeah, I would say what the hell.
Right.
That was
What the
that was
hell?
a joke. Okay, tell him to come back now was a joke. I'm sorry. I just
Oh, we're gonna drag
This-
that one just like I
we're
collect that.
okay. Tell him to whatever. You know what I meant.
yes.
Sure,
Oh my gosh.
dude.
I remember he would always like yell at Rabbit too. He always like Rabbit. What?
Him and Rabbit had, I don't know if it was fake beef
Stay
or
on
real
my
beef.
game.
It was definitely beef.
It was always like fake. I'd always be like Rabbit. What?
I had to
Shut
drive Rabbit
up.
home one. I had to drive Rabbit home one day, which was kind of scary.
I remember you telling me that. Did you drop him off at like a bar?
I did. So Rabbit, for some reason, didn't like his ride canceled or something, and he didn't have a ride home. And he was like, "Ian, I have no way to get home. You have a car, right?" And I was like, "Yes, fine, I will drive you home." He didn't pay for gas, and he lives decently far into Davenport. So I drove him home, and I'm not gonna lie, he backseat drove. He doesn't have a license. I don't want to hear you tell me how to drive. You don't have a license. But he backseat drove a couple times on the way there. And we get to, he's like, there is my apartment. I was like, we're not stopping there. And he goes, no, come a couple more streets down. We go a couple streets down. He has me turn into this bar and he goes, thank you. I'll probably be here for the rest of the night. And I was like, okay, have fun.
Rabbit was a big drinker, guys. Rabbit was. Oh my gosh. Okay. Speaking of drinkers, Murphy. Do we know this? Do we all know this story?
I love Murphy, dude. No, I don't
Mike,
know what story you're talking about.
Matthew, do you know the story that I'm talking about? I know Brady does.
Matthew had something to say. Kind of want to hear it.
Yeah, Matthew, what do you have
He's
to say?
raising his hand.
One time I was working and you guys know Harmon? Did he quit or something?
Oh
Harmon
yeah,
at
he did.
the
Harmon.
Harmon. He was
um
black cook with he
He
had
play
weird
music.
teeth.
Oh,
He
the
had weird
cool guy.
teeth.
I remember
Yeah,
that
he
yeah,
was
dude. I love
cool.
that guy.
I liked
He was
him. He was really
nice.
nice. Him and not the Brady in the car, the Brady the cook, they got like a fight in front of me. They're like about to beef it out. They were like having a screaming match in the cook
Or what
in
the
the
hell are you
kitchen.
doing? Is that WD 40s?
Oh, it's a
It's
computer
Canada.
cleaner.
That's
Um,
wild. Actually, I did not hear about that.
I was gonna say though, Murphy got caught drinking on the job. Drinking on the job. And
I swear half our employees do that. What?
dude. Okay, that's what I was gonna go to that next, but there's like ongoing stuff. That let's just say there's big things coming at TBK. TBK's got some lore that
Alcohol
is
update.
really alcohol is a big problem at TBK. JB used to take shots at the bar when he still worked there. He used to take shots at the bar and Megan would just pour up.
That's wild.
But yeah, there's some employees there that drink. And I've
He
gotten
cooked
yelled
better
at a
when he
couple
took
times.
shots.
Yeah, he did. He cooked better when he took shots. Oh my god, maybe he put him in the chicken bites or something. Something like that.
Maybe.
I actually this cook yelled at me one time not too long ago. I'm not gonna say his name just because like it's he still works there. But we're
Oh,
cool
wasn't
now.
it Brady?
No, it wasn't Brady.
He-
Brady never.
Matthew, he just said he's not going to say his name.
Yeah, it wasn't Brady though. I paid Jackson, the dishwasher, to mop for me. And earlier I had told this guy, this line cook, I was like, hey, it's an employee order. Bill usually prefers us to use styrofoam instead of plastic to go boxes just because they're cheaper, like per unit. Um, and everything's fine after that. But then Jackson starts mopping for me, and then this guy comes up to me furious. He was like, "You're such a hypocrite. Wow, I can't believe you're telling me how to do my job." And it wasn't like an attack or anything when I said it. I was just like being courteous. Like I didn't want my dad to walk in and then just be mad at him. Because my dad would have said it a lot meaner than I would have. And this guy just is screaming at me. He's screaming at me for no reason. And so I go and I tell Bailey, and she like texts him or texts my dad and everything. And I call my dad and I'm like, dude, I want to file a report, HR report. It was bad. It was something. It was the only altercation that I've had at TBK.
Wow. That is scary. I've only been yelled at by a cook once.
Who was it?
Yeah, it was Matt. He doesn't work there anymore.
Oh,
Old Matt.
I know who Matt is.
Matt.
Me and Ian are
Yeah,
the only two that
he
would
was
know him.
fun. I loved Matt, but
He
it
threw
was
cheese
like
at me one day.
he throws cheese at everyone. It was like
Yeah.
super busy, and he always kept the lettuce. We were running out of lettuce for our burgers because the food runners put the lettuce and the tomatoes and stuff on the burgers. So we ran out of lettuce. We needed more lettuce, and normally I'd ask Matt, like, Matt, can you grab me lettuce? But he was busy, and he just told me to start going back there and grabbing it myself. So I was like, okay. So I walk behind the line. I go to grab the lettuce, and Matt just looks at me. He screams, "Get out from behind the fucking line! I could have stabbed you with this knife. Well, I'm too fucking busy for this shit." And I just grabbed the lettuce and run back. And it was just because we were super busy. He was so pissed. And I don't know. He never apologized. He probably felt he was right, and whatever. I still like him.
Yeah,
Dude.
there's a lot of line cook getting mad stories.
I mean,
It's just you
I've
need a
recently seen a line cook get really mad, but it wasn't at me. It was just like we had already closed and someone put in an order, and he, um, who was it? Nick? It's nothing bad, so I'm gonna say his name. He like spilled the butter that they put under the quesadillas when they're cooking them, and it like ruined the quesadilla. And he just linebacker chucks this quesadilla at the wall behind like the oven or the stove, and it like sticks and like slides a little bit. It was so funny. And he cleaned it up, so it's fine. But it was so funny. And dude, he was like super seriously mad, so I couldn't laugh, but I was dying. It was so funny.
Dude, Jacob, you're there, you're witnessing stuff. That's what Matthew was too. Dude, you work so much. You worked open to close that one time, didn't you? Or multiple
I
times.
I worked 10 hours this week. I've got 40 hours this week so far as the end of the week. But
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah, I
if
work a lot.
Jacob's not working, you can always count on him to take your shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing better to do with my time.
That's
But
why my job,
I've
yeah.
still never had a cook get mad at me, like
Mhm.
seriously. But one of the cooks did call me a dumbass like a year ago. You remember Tanner?
Vaguely.
That was not
Tanner?
a year ago. That was
Tanner.
not a
It
year
was
ago.
fine, dude. You weren't even there.
No.
Shut the hell up. Sorry. That was so mean. I was trying to be funny. That was so mean. I'm sorry.
That was not even a
Tanner?
year ago. Tanner was there when I was
Start
still
crying.
there.
Tanner was there like a year ago. It was a
Tanner.
while ago, dude. But
Oh,
He was friends
Tanner,
with
he
Maya
worked
and
at Central
Chad.
Standard, right?
Yes.
he was a young guy.
He
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
with
yeah.
Maya and Chad
He
before.
has these
No, he
cool
worked with
checkered pants. He was one of my favorite cooks. He was my hero. And then he makes some tacos or something, and I run him out to the bar, and he makes them to how he was told to make them, like the specialty or like special request. And I run him out, and they had something else, like they were made like they were rang in wrong. And on my way back, taking these tacos that were made incorrectly back, I drop them, and then I go back to the kitchen. That was the only time I've ever dropped a piece of food that was an order, and it was incorrectly made, so it didn't affect anything. So I walked back to the kitchen, and I'm like, "Hey, we've got to get a remake on these tacos." And I was like, they like don't want this sauce on them or whatever. And he's like, "What sauce? What sauce? Point it out. That sauce or whatever." And he's like trying to figure it out. And he's like, "How'd it get like this? I didn't put it like this." And I was like, "Because I dropped it." And he was like, "Oh, dumbass, that's why they need a remake." And I wasn't even mad at him. I wasn't like sad. I was just heartbroken because I Tanner was so cool, and he didn't like any of the food from me, but he was awesome.
Yeah. Oh my
Damn.
gosh. What was I? Shit. Never
You guys
mind. My
remember
bad.
Maya?
Yeah.
Maya?
The cook.
Yeah.
Maya couldn't go a week without cutting her finger off.
Oh my
Dude.
god. I had to wrap her finger one time. That's a good story to tell.
I was gonna share a story, but you can go.
No, you're good. You do it. I'll go after.
Okay. So like you guys
Yeah.
know how like sometimes when like we want to have dishwashers in the morning, like the cooks would have to do their own dishes.
Yeah.
I remember Maya was doing dishes one day, and it's like a slow Friday morning. So it was literally like just Don, JB, Maya, and me probably, like in the kitchen. Maya's just washing dishes. I walked by and she does braiding. Like she points the hose at me. I'm like, "Do it, I dare you!" And she like sprayed dishwasher all over me.
I think I was there, wasn't I?
It's like scalding
I don't
water.
think so, but like it was super hot. It was all over my glasses, and she was like, "Oh!" And then she started to kept doing it. I was like, "Do it again, I dare you!" And she almost did it again. I was like, "No, no, no!" And I ran off.
Oh my
You
gosh.
scampered away.
I never heard about
One time Maya was doing carrots. So with
You would
carrots, we
always
get them
take
in
her
these
carrots. I
big.
remember that.
I would. Those carrots are still good to this day. She was
I like
cutting carrots. We get these carrots in big, like at least 60-pound bags, and they're like just straight pulled from the ground. Like they don't have they're kind of dirty, I guess. So you got
They
to
have to
peel them.
watch them though.
Yeah, they have to wash them and peel them and everything. She chops her fingertip off. Like the skin of her, like no bone or anything, but like her
A
fingertip
solid
is just,
chunk.
yeah, solid chunk.
Yeah.
It's gone. So she's bleeding all over the kitchen. Oh my God, I grab the gauze like almost as quick as I can, and I have to wrap this bandage and use a tourniquet on her wrist because she's just
Oh
bleeding
my
out
god.
so bad.
That's insane.
It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And she just goes right back to cooking. And I'm like,
Hey,
dude,
hell yeah.
Go to the hospital. What?
No,
Go to the
no,
hospital.
my
for the
grind.
company, for the company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my
Dude, Nick-
hands get lacerated at Cinemark every time I reach it. Like popcorn kernels are sharp, and you have to like scrape them out of the seats. I have so many cuts on my hands. I've bled from it sometimes.
Ew.
That's actually wild.
Oh,
From
like you're talking
popcorn.
about the shells that come off the
Well,
kernel?
it's like the kernels that only pop halfway, so like part of the shell is
Ah.
like still on there, so that cuts you.
Yeah.
You're gonna have hella calluses and scars. You're gonna be like, how'd I get this scar?
Dude, the other day I
Popcorn.
found a seat where someone crammed an entire hot dog into the side of their chair, the hot dog and the bun, and I was like, God fucking damn it! All right, here we go.
Dude, you just they were trying to smuggle that in for their friend. They were like, "Hey, I've got the 4:30 showing. You've got the 2 o'clock showing. Can you hide my hot dog down
An
there?
entire
I'm
glizzy
keeping
in the
it for
seat
later."
cushion. Dude, I wouldn't wash my hands immediately. Dude, I hate when I like look into a seat and I think it's just like a popcorn kernel. I'm like, all right, let me just scrape this out real quick. Oh, my hand's
There's a
soaked
toddler
now.
in here.
Yeah.
There's like chocolate in there or something, dude.
Oh my.
And now I'm like, fuck. You have to go and wash your hands a lot at this job. Maybe I could
you-
wear gloves, but you know that's
Do you
real.
Do it.
do you have gloves? Do you have access to gloves?
I mean, the concession workers have them.
You could definitely find some freaky
Sawyer.
stuff in those cushions. I would definitely not do that.
Yeah.
I get grossed out
Dude, it's like
busting
legendary.
cables off.
It's like a
that I can
mystery box
see.
though, because sometimes I can't tell what's in the seat. So I'm like, oh, what's this? What's this? Like the other day, I was reaching in, I was like, oh, that feels weird. Oh, it's a vape. Oh, this is cool. I found 4 of those in one shit. Dude, this is what I was thinking about. My
What do
magic.
you do with those, Sawyer?
Throw them away.
Like, what would you?
What?
I was just wondering.
Dude, wait, no, this could go into my scam of selling vapes to freshmen. I don't even have to go and buy them first. I work at Cinemark. I can just get them for free.
Is that where you were going with that?
You should probably say you're joking.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I throw them away
Um,
immediately. I
We
don't.
can turn those into Crime Stoppers, guys. We can get money.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Dude, you could.
Yeah. Sell. Oh my gosh. Make money off the freshmen selling vapes to them, and then get them caught at school and get paid for it by Crime Stoppers.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's
infinite money
wild.
glitch.
dude,
That is
the amount of
That's
people.
that's the exact scam he was talking about.
Yeah, the
It's
amount of
anonymous
people
too.
that come into Cinemark trying to like scam us out of money. Like they'll come up to us, the cleaners, and be like, "Hey, I lost a $100 bill in Feeder 9. You wouldn't have happened to find that, would you?" And we're like, "No." And they're like, "Oh well, I totally left that in there." And yeah, that happens a lot. Some people will be like, "Yeah, I left a really expensive bracelet. Can you check lost and found?" No, it's
Dude.
ridiculous.
Back to what,
Dude,
like,
at TBK. What, Brady? Hold on, I want to hear what you got to say.
okay. I was gonna say back to what like Sawyer was saying about like getting cuts and stuff from kernels and stuff. Like at my new job, like our like coat glasses are like pure glass, not plastic like TBK
Where do you
was.
work? Say where you work.
Yeah.
Texas Red
Yeah.
House now. Yeah, I work at Texas Red House now. And like our glass,
Nice.
yeah. So our like pop glasses are like pure glass. So like when you're like putting them in like the cups, so like dishwashers can wash them and stuff. Like the glass is like so like broken, like it's pretty much can pop at any time. So like when you have a full like stack and you're like putting them in, they'll like break sometimes. Like that, yeah. I know it sounds bad, but like
Right on. That's exactly.
they'll like break sometimes. So like the glass will go and like where the cups are supposed to go, and like you have to make sure you did all the glass before you like flip the rack over so they can wash it because like and like sometimes it'll go into the silver where the silverware goes, and like you have to pick it out of the silverware, like take all the silverware out, make sure all the glass is out. It's just it. And I've
That
cut
would
myself.
suck.
I cut myself on a knife.
Sounds like you should have never left.
I know.
Yeah.
I cut
Speaking
myself
of
on
Dude,
a knife, and I cut myself on some glass because I was dumping like because we like put all of our broken glass and plates in like a bucket, and then like we dump them out at the end of the night in our
speaking of
dumpsters.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Glass
I'm
is
not
sharp.
done.
No, you're good. Keep
And
going.
then like
Okay.
I was like dumping it one night, and I had a glove on, and it like hit my one of the broken glasses hit my like glove, and it like cut right through my glove, and I was bleeding for like 10 minutes.
Dang.
It hurt like a bitch.
I have a question.
bet.
This is something that I've wanted to address the entire episode. Ian, where are you?
This is not my regular setup. In case you guys
Why
haven't
wouldn't you hear
noticed.
last episode? Is more what I'm getting at.
You guys didn't even talk about my last episode. You didn't talk about where I was. You just put me in the corner.
I did.
It is a still image.
Mhm.
So I got invited on a trip to Myrtle Beach from Isaiah Martinez. It's his 18th birthday, and his mom said he could bring somebody. So here I am on a free vacation. And we were driving down because we drove in here. We didn't fly. We were driving down here, and last episode fell. Its filming day fell on when we were staying at this like halfway hotel. So we'd stay at this hotel and then keep going until we got to Myrtle Beach.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, I can still film. I can still make it. And then I forgot that we changed time zones. So I was in the call waiting for everybody an hour early. I was like, guys, where the hell are you? And they're like, we're recording in an hour. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm in a different time zone. I'm not staying up for this. And then I went to bed. But now I'm in Myrtle Beach. I've been here for 6 days. And I'm loving it. I can actually record. I'm on a balcony outside right now. So
Is it
out there's
cold
the
there?
ocean and the
It's
It
a
pool.
black
snowed like
screen.
4 feet here, 4 inches.
You said out there's the ocean, and we just saw nothing. It's completely dark.
It's
It's
dark.
I have a
just
It's
a pool.
question.
It's a
alright.
small ocean, man.
Don't drop the phone. Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
That's a very nicely
I have a
lit ocean.
question.
What's your question?
Is Matthew asleep?
Probably.
He's doing just fine. We're babysitting
It's
him.
like
It's
it's
all
like
right.
David Wallace episode.
Holy,
Um, but I go back here
Oh
in a couple
yeah, I
days.
forgot
The
to say. I
ocean.
also worked. Sorry, Ian. Go ahead.
I'm not done with Brady.
Sorry,
Um,
Ian.
it's okay. It's okay. The ocean here is really cold. It's like when I came to Myrtle Beach, I was expecting to swim in the ocean, though it's freezing.
I
So
bet.
instead, every day I do the polar plunge where I jump in the ocean and then run back out. I documented it yesterday. A couple people saw that. And yeah, soon it'll be Isaiah's 18th birthday, and it's a big milestone. I can't wait. That's kind of everything. I got a tattoo here.
Nice.
Green Bay.
Green
oh,
Bay. I gotta let everyone know when we win the Super Bowl this year that I wasn't a bandwagon fan.
Yes, sir, Ian.
Just
High
because they
five.
won.
how are they gonna know it's an old tattoo?
What was I
Or
gonna
no.
say?
Oh,
I don't even know what I was gonna say now.
well,
Anyway,
Killian, you were talking, weren't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of second jobs, I worked at Biaggi's for a month and a half,
remember
maybe
that.
2 months, while I was working at TBK, and I kind of quit TBK. I took like a leave of absence, basically. I worked like a shift a month. I was making some pretty good money. They put me on some really good shifts, and then they put me on the very bad ones, and that's where it all went downhill. I was making probably $30 a night.
Yeah,
With
dude.
my
You would
$4.50
every
wage.
week you would just brag how much money you made in the TBK group chat.
Yeah, and then I went silent, radio silence after first couple weeks because oh my god, they don't have readily accessible oven mitts. Like the oven mitts are always being used
Ooh.
by somebody, and there's one pair, so we have to use these towels, like the towels that we have at work, towel whipping and everything,
Yeah.
to take these 10 pans that we stack of hot bread, focaccia and some other stuff. The bread at Biaggi's that you get is cooked at like 375 degrees
Oh,
in
I bet.
this industrial oven. It's terrible. I still have burn marks and scars on my thumbs from burning myself so much. It was terrible. I had to get burn spray and everything. It's right over there. It was terrible. So injuries at work, Biaggi's is not a good place to go.
Mm.
Yeah, like the thing at Roadhouse is like at the end of the night, like the kitchen, like they'll have like buzz tubs and stuff on the expo line, so like in case an order gets messed up or like a plate breaks, they can just put it in there, and like they have to empty it out every so often. And like at the end of the night, like they'll like because our barbecue sauce like stays on a heater all night. Like you guys know like how there's hot water underneath. That's what they do with our barbecue sauce on the line and stuff. And like there's sometimes like when you're taking because they have it in like saran wrap, and like you have to take it out and then it's like steaming hot. So like it's fucking super hot obviously at the end of the night. So like it's not like as bad as you said, Killian, but some things are harder than most. And some of the people at Roadhouse don't speak fluent English. Some of them only speak Spanish.
That's how it was at
That's not very
Biaggi's too.
Texan.
That's
Wow.
not very Texan. Can, sorry, can I just say something? Matthew seemed waking up from his beauty sleep.
We're 4 months into this podcast, and we can't prove otherwise.
He Matthew, you want to tell us what happened there a little bit?
I fell asleep. What is there to say? I
You
was at
actually
McDonald's.
Do we bore
I
you,
was-
Matthew?
I was at McDonald's.
Oh
He
yeah,
was resting his
how's
eyes.
McDonald's been? And Matthew left us for McDonald's. How's that been?
Oh, I mean, it's nice. I know how the food is now, so I don't really eat it anymore.
Yeah, that's why I would never work at McDonald's.
Ooh.
It would ruin it for the rest of my life.
Oh
I'd rather live in ignorance.
no, I
Roadhouse.
will tell you everything right now. Just to
No.
ruin it.
Don't.
Please don't.
I
Dude, you're
will.
gonna shut
No.
down McDonald's corporate. They're gonna go bankrupt
So
because
like
of what you're about to say.
no. I'm just gonna tell everyone now. So the McRib, like, it sits in barbecue sauce for like sometimes like 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Like if so like all the food is set in a like heater, and like if you don't get any hours for like the entire day, they keep it into the next. I'm pretty sure they keep it into the next day. No, they like keep it all day, like from the morning to the end of the night at 10. And then sometimes like they forget to check the temp on the quarter pounders. And like a lot of the times we get like complaints about how it's like undercooked, and they get like poison sickness
Yeah,
sickness
that's
from it.
probably why they had E.
Food
coli.
poisoning.
Yeah.
It happens a lot
Killian,
actually.
didn't your dad get sick from that?
Yeah, my dad got sick from the McDonald's
I
E.
remember you
coli
telling me
outbreak. He got like
Ooh.
incredibly sick for like a week or two.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
it was
Yeah,
bad.
I know that, yeah.
It was really bad.
Wait, that's
was-
the worst thing McDonald's does is that sometimes their burgers are cold.
No, like
That's
it's
the
just
deepest
raw.
the rabbit hole goes.
No, it's just raw.
It's raw. Raw.
Yeah.
Raw.
You like it
Dude,
How
raw?
will
I
you
haven't
raw?
had a
Do you
McRib in like
Matthew,
a
how do you
week.
feel about these
Absence
raw
makes the hunger
burgers?
fonder.
There's black
I-
mold at
oh.
Cinemark.
Oh.
Well,
Well, there's
Texas
also
Roadhouse,
rats in the
we have
kitchen.
legendary food,
At,
legendary margaritas made from stretched sides,
at
fresh
Cinemark,
baked bread.
in the arcade area, you know the arcade that like no one really ever uses, barely.
Hey,
anymore.
Sawyer, I actually
Yeah.
use that. It's actually pretty fun. Every game's
Yeah,
a
I
scam,
do
though.
too. Honestly, the photo booth is really nice. So
That's not in
Don't
the
talk
arcade
bad on
area.
my-
That's actually right outside of it. I would know because I work there. Anyways, so
There's
basically,
black hole here.
yeah, in the back. So
Oh, yeah, it's like
basically,
a flex
apparently,
anymore.
apparently, the general manager that before the one we currently have, that was there when my brother was working, was like really lazy, and everyone hated him. So there was like black mold growing in like the back of the arcade area, which obviously, if you
Chad?
know, huh? What'd you say, Ian?
That sounds like Chad.
Basically, there was black mold growing in the arcade area, which if you know anything about that, you know that that's not safe for people to be around. So instead of actually doing something about it,
Racist.
he just sprayed. I don't know what he sprayed on it. He just sprayed on something on it to make it so it would like stop being toxic and stop growing. But he never did anything to get rid of it. So now it's just back there forever.
I mean, that sounds like a decoration if it's not toxic and it doesn't spread.
It's like
It's
his
like a
I
collection.
love you, Jacob.
Adds to the
Jacob, get it for
ambiance.
your room. Get it for your room.
Dude, I could get some black mold up in
Dude,
here.
I need a
That'd be
girl
great.
who got black mold in her room. That's what I need.
And you were
Is
talking
there-
about Chad. I have a little bit of Chad lore that I've been sitting on for a while. You know how he
Okay,
would bark
let's
every
hear it.
time he comes into the kitchen?
Said what?
Woof, woof. He would do that.
That's
You
how
said
he
You know
what?
why he did that?
Uh-uh.
I heard the backstory. He was like, "Oh yeah, I bark every time I come to the kitchen. I actually picked that up after I saw a homeless guy bark at this lady in a Walmart parking lot." And I was like, "That's the coolest thing. I want to have some sort of story like that. I need to adopt something like that. I need to
Oh my
bark at
God.
women."
You need to
Dude.
bark at women.
Of course.
Jacob's just fishing for a good boy right there.
Well,
That's what Jacob's fishing
What?
for.
Oh, okay.
Do we need to end this episode?
Yeah, I think so.
Dude, Sawyer, have you ever found money like cleaning?
Yes, plenty.
Do you get to
dude,
take it? Because I found $100 bill in the kitchen at TBK. I did not take it. Oh my God. I
what'd
did
you do
not
with
take the
it?
$100 bill. But it was like there was a
Dude,
$100
doing that
bill
to
sticking
me.
out of the drain under the soda fountain, and I didn't want to touch it because I was like, that could be a bomb. I'm a pretty smart guy, got that street smarts. There could be a bomb under that $100 bill. So what I
If
do
I ever
is I
go on
tell
the
one of the cooks, I'm
streets,
like, hey, you see that $100 bill? What's that about? You want to go pick it up? And he's like, yeah, I'll go pick it up. He picks it up, and it's just for one of the servers. She like dropped it, but apparently it was a $100 bill, tipped by the overlord, the gracious president of TBK Entertainment Center, Brian Hintz. You know that guy? I love that guy.
I did not know
I've
that,
met
Doug
that
is
guys.
guy a few times.
the president. I thought
What?
I thought Doug was the president.
Doug is
No,
the
Doug isn't the
chairman.
president.
Oh
Doug
yeah,
is the
that's right.
chairman.
Oh,
I actually read the entire TBK handbook today because I was very bored. Doug is the chairman.
okay. Interesting.
Well, Ryan Hintz is the president of TBK Entertainment Center, and I love that man. And I've met him on a few occasions. He was there for the opening of Iron T Golf. I was there,
I was
and
there until like last week actually.
ooh,
Huh.
cool. I've
I
met him.
missed one. We
He's come
should.
in the kitchen a few times, and I've got to say, I've never been doing anything good when the president of TBK Entertainment Center comes into
He
the
was a
kitchen.
really.
One
He's
Oh
a
my
time,
nice
god, he
guy.
catches. I swear, he catches us doing the most fiendish things.
he's a
Jacob,
great guy, but one
I
time
have.
I want to talk about that after I
Okay,
talk about not that.
okay.
I was putting pickles in our little container that we put on the burgers, and I just had a glove on, and it was, sopping with pickle juice, and I was just like licking it behind me, getting that pickle juice off, and just coincidentally, the president of TBK Sports Complex is walking right behind me, and I flick like a pint of pickle juice into his face, and he just like gives me a look and walks out. That was my first time meeting him,
Wow.
and I knew who he was, so I was just like in turmoil for the rest of the shift.
All right, I think
Wow.
after
But
that we should
dude,
end the episode.
Fired. Matthew,
Wait,
turn
are
no,
your
you
camera
talking
I have
about?
sideways.
one. I have one last story. It is some of the most fun I ever had working at TBK. Um,
Thank you.
me, Jacob introduced me to this game called Ultimate Tic Tac Toe, and we would be playing that in the back. Um, I don't know, like every now and again we'll play it again, and it's so much fun. But there was one time where we were playing it, and I
Matthew,
think
stop.
the president or some super important, like
It was
more
him,
important
yeah.
than Bill, dude walked back there and walked by us as I was planning my next move in Ultimate Tic Tac Toe, and I didn't even know who it was. So Jacob is standing there petrified, and he doesn't say anything. He just walks right by us, and I'm standing there it's like, Jacob, where should I go next? And Jacob's like, do you know who that was? No, that was the president of TBK. He owns you. Oh, you probably
Dude,
shouldn't be playing Ultimate
and
Tic
then
Tac Toe then.
dude, right after that, you walked out and I told you that, and then you were petrified, and I was like, hey, was he wearing a women's coat? Because I'm pretty sure he was wearing like a long coat. I don't think it was a women's coat, but it did look like a women's coat.
It looked like
And
a women's coat.
I'm gonna get terminated for saying that. But he had a nice coat on.
Dude, we're gonna
Well,
get
Um,
fired for like half the things we said on this
I
podcast.
I
actually
was just
I
thinking, like,
actually saw him.
what if Bill watches this episode? We're all cooked.
Oh no, it's fine. Because Matthew's story, Matthew doesn't even work here.
Yeah.
You can
What
get
about the rest
fired
of us who
for
do
telling him
work
to do
here?
that. Apparently, you didn't tell him to do that though. I
The
don't know.
brownies.
But I saw Ryan in the flesh on like Thursday or something, or like Monday, and he's just a regular. Like most people in Bettendorf, Iowa, don't know who Ryan Hintz, president of TBK Sports Complex, is. So he can just walk around his own center, like just as a normal guy. He was just taking pictures to like send to HR or something. And I walk into the bathroom, and I stand at the urinal next to him, and I'm like, "This is awesome! I get to piss next to Ryan Hintz." And
You're
then,
glazed
or
that
actually,
this
no, no,
man
no,
is.
no. I didn't piss next to him in the urinal. I went into the stall and pissed, and then I walked out. He's standing right there. He's taking a picture of one of the stalls. God only knows what's in that stall. But to the outside onlooker, to someone who doesn't know who Ryan Hintz is, there was a dude who walked into the TBK bathroom and took a picture of some dude of some other dude's shit.
Okay, Killian.
Is
What are you
this
trying to?
is this guy a little bit heavier set? Is he skinny? Or
No, I mean, he's like tall. He's like average.
is he kinda
I
like
seen
built
him
a
at the
little bit? Is he built a little bit?
uh
Does he have like
yeah, yeah,
short hair?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely caught me messing around like 5 times this past week. So
Oh yeah,
You
I'm
never
gonna be
said
praying for my
he's been in
job.
a while. He's been in a ton.
Yeah, I'm gonna be praying for my job because we've made eye contact while I was messing around like
Dude,
at least
I
5
was
times.
training at Iron Tea, and the whole time since the place wasn't even open yet, he was just like looking around, observing us. And I looked through like the kitchen window. I was standing in the kitchen, like a small kitchen window. He's just locked eyes with me. He was just staring at me down for like a good minute and a half, and then he just like smiles and walks away. So I don't know if he knows I'm the same person, but he's a great guy.
Dude,
I love the man.
should I just title this the TBK episode? Because that
Yep,
was
I think
an
so.
hour and like 20 minutes of just TBK. I
What
think
are you talking
Sorry,
about?
man. I mean,
I'm still ready to
Sawyer,
keep going. I've written down.
yeah,
David isn't.
I have so much.
Yeah, we can talk
You can
about
keep
it like
talking.
off
No,
video too if you
I'd
want.
love to.
we're ending this. Matthew wants to end too. I can tell. See,
Yeah, Matthew fell asleep.
Sawyer,
Well, thank you
this
very
is what
much for the
this is
invite,
what
everyone.
Wait,
Of
is it
course,
over?
Brady.
oh, not
Thank
yet.
you for
Just
the
hold on.
invite.
You
Yeah,
can't leave. If
Matthew,
you
Don't
leave,
leave.
he's gonna get
Don't
very
do
mad.
not
I'm not
leave.
Matthew. Wait.
What Ian say? What you want to say, and then we're wrapping this up.
Okay, Sawyer, let
Wrap
it be
me up,
known that
Ian.
this is what it feels like to Jacob when we talked about student council all those times, and he had nothing to add. He just had to sit there quietly. Now
Don't
you
play
know
the
what it
victim
feels
card.
like.
Don't
Thank you
play
all
the
so
victim
much for
card.
listening to episode
You're getting
32 of the
gangbanged by
One
those
League
David's
equivalent of
7
podcast.
words.
Cinemark
Goodbye.
stories too,
Bye,
dude.
everyone.
This is your
Adios.
purgatory.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Get me out of here.